Hello, everyone. Welcome to Christopher's Entertainment Blog. I am your host, Chris. Welcome to my 100% spoiler filled review of Avengers Age of Ultron. And I just got back from the theater about an hour ago, seeing this film for the first time. And I have to say, it was awesome. It was great. Very cool indeed. I do have some negatives, but not too many. I have to say, for me, I guess everybody might be saying, is it better than the first? Is it better than the first? For me, seeing it the first time, I might have to see it maybe 3, 5, 6, 10 more times, like I've seen the original Avengers, before I can actually say, oh, yeah, it was better. But right now, I'm going to say that I feel that the first is a slight little bit more better, a little bit more fun for me. But this one, I think, had a lot more action. And I think, it was a lot like, well, I mean, I think a lot of the scenes were a lot more action filled. The pacing was really good. I really liked the pacing. Um, you get that moment from the very beginning. I mean, they throw you in. It picks up, boom, right there. It's just like they throw you into this like event. It's just like, whoa. I mean, they're picking right up with the Avengers. And the whole scene, with them, raiding this facility, was awesome. That whole slow mo scene where they all jumping, and that slow mo, that silhouette picture was great. I mean, I love that. The Hulk running through that bunker and smashing that bunker was awesome. Just so much stuff. I mean, this movie was crammed full of stuff. The Maximoff twins, at first, I was like, okay, I guess they're cool. I didn't know if I didn't really like them a whole lot. I mean, they were okay at first, but then when you get to the end, I loved them at the end. I really liked them, and especially Scarlet Witch. I'm going to say this right now. Scarlet Witch was awesome. I really liked her a lot. Elizabeth Olsen, I think, did a fantastic job. Somebody else that I liked was the Vision. The Vision was awesome. Again, awesome. I'm going to say awesome a lot in this review. And he was awesome. I didn't know what to expect throughout a lot of the film. I was like, where's the Vision? Where is it? When is he coming in? At one time, I actually forgot he was in this film. And then I was like, oh, yeah, there's the Vision. And I had to remember that. And I was just like, where is he? When is he going to show up? And then, when Ultron is trying to make that other body or whatever, like with some of the stuff is just like mine was exploding. It was just like, what is going on? And then I was like, okay, that's got to be the Vision. And then they put Jarvis's AI or whatever into the Vision, and he's got all the Jarvis like quips, and he sounds like the Vision. Well, it is Paul Bettany, so I mean, I think that was awesome having Jarvis, the actual actor who plays Jarvis, play the Vision. I thought that was awesome, and everything about the Vision was very well done. I really loved the Vision. The whole thing with the Infinity Stone being in Loki's staff, and then that is in like the forehead or whatever of the Vision, and as all the Marvel films are going along, I mean, you see these Infinity Stones. They say that's the end game. It was great having that all connect together. So much stuff happening in this film. It was unreal, unbelievable. The whole ending scene, the whole action going on with all of his like the robots and whatever, was awesome. There it was a little bit beat for beat with maybe the first one. Um, that may have been a negative there. That maybe, oh well, this seems similar, that they're fighting instead of fighting all these aliens, they're fighting these robots. But I mean, it didn't bother me too much. I mean, I figured as much that it would be similar. One thing that changed is that we got these new Avengers. We had Scarlet Witch in there, we had the Vision in there, we had Quicksilver in there, and the whole time I figured, well, it was either going to be War Machine. War Machine was also in there, so that was cool. I figured War Machine or Quicksilver was going to die. I actually thought it was going to be War Machine more than Quicksilver, but then he did. War Machine didn't die. It was Quicksilver, and I was like, okay. I wasn't surprised at all. I figured it would be either one of those two. But War Machine had some awesome footage there. Flying around helping the Avengers. Um, and the scenes. We had a lot of character development on Hawkeye. I mean, we didn't see that in the first one. They kind of like left him out of it. He didn't have very much. He was just like filler or fluff or whatever in the first one. I mean, had the mind control basically the whole time in the first one. And this one, I mean, they really had character development. I mean, you see his family in this. And they kind of poke at fun at maybe he's like a character that they really don't need, because he's like, who am I? I'm a guy out here with all these other god like people, and I got a bow and arrow, and I thought that was cool how they paid, they actually recognized that. So there was a lot of stuff cool with Hawkeye. I mean, they've really developed his character. The whole love situation between Banner and Black Widow, I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. I was like, oh god, here we go, another love story in a superhero film. But it didn't really bother me. It kind of makes sense for maybe future events, because at the end, he goes off to like an island or Fiji or something. So I don't know where they're going to play into that. I guess they'll play on this more out throughout the the next films or whatever. But it didn't really bother me. But I wasn't sure if there was going to be a whole lot of comic relief in this film, because from the trailers it made it look like it was kind of a dark event. But they had a lot of one-liners, and some of them I can't remember, because they were like in the moment and it went so fast. But one of them is when at the beginning, when Tony Stark went into the building, he shoots all those guys in that facility, and he was like, "Okay, good talk." And the guy gets up, "No, it wasn't." I laughed at that one. I laughed at that. Usually my sense of humor with that sort of stuff is like, I don't really laugh. It's kind of funny to me, but I don't like laugh out loud at it. But that one I did. I thought it was kind of funny. And there was other one-liners with Stark. I think he had the best one-liners for me personally, especially when they're chopping the wood at that farmhouse. That scene with Captain America and Tony Stark was awesome. And they're chopping the wood, and then Cap breaks the wood in half. I mean, showing his frustration with Tony, setting a little bit up there with Civil War, with these two how at odds throughout kind of like the whole film. I mean, they were at odds a little bit, button heads. But then you see when Tony walks away, he's like, "Don't touch my pile," pile of the wood. That was kind of funny. I laughed at that one. But I mean, so much stuff. I mean, you see, at the beginning, that party they were doing, they were like loose and everything, and they were drinking and having fun, and that was a cool scene. I really liked them all together like that. So many like little hints at like other films and other places. At the one moment we seen Andy Serkis as the Claw. He was great. I wasn't sure how Andy Serkis would be. I'm so used to him being a CG character. I wasn't sure how he was actually going to be, and he was awesome. I liked his character. I hope we see more of him down the line. But we see that they go after the vibranium, which is what Captain's shield is made out of. And they talk about, if I can bring up the name, I ain't gonna be. I think it's Wakanda. Wakanda. They bring up that's where the vibranium is made, is in Wakanda, and that's where Black Panther is from. So they're setting that up. That's a little hint there. So that's cool. They did that throughout the whole film. I mean, they set some things up for Civil War for the next film, but I was hoping that maybe they would do a little bit more, and they didn't. They kind of like left that hanging. I thought maybe they would like really like say, this is going down. But no, I mean, they're going to leave it. Maybe they'll project, maybe they will, have more in the next film, because we got Ant-Man coming up. So we got another film. Maybe there'll be more in that. And then we have Civil War. So it's interesting where they're going to go with that. But it didn't really bother me too much. I just wish they would have had a little bit more hint to Civil War, maybe. But overall, I mean, Ultron I thought was menacing. I thought he was a great villain. James Spader's voice was awesome. I wasn't expecting him to have this type of emotion in these like one-liners, and when Hulk jumped into that plane, and you hear Ultron, like, oh my god, for the love of God, and throws him out. Just those little things that were funny. I wasn't expecting him to have that type of sense of humor, but I guess he gets it from Tony Stark, and he has that type of intelligence, because he was created that way. It works. It works. I wasn't sure what to expect from that character, but it works. I don't think that he was my favorite villain. I think Loki in the first one was a better villain, because Loki is a more human character, and you didn't really have that element with the CG Ultron, but I thought he was great. My second favorite villain of all the Marvel films. I mean, there's there's just so much I'm trying to touch on and to remember. It's unbelievable. I mean, the beginning moment where Cap throws that motorcycle, that was awesome. That whole opening scene was great. I was like, wow, that's really well done. So much stuff. Sam Jackson, Nick Fury showing up. That was one maybe thing. I was like, okay. That was kind of weird how he showed up just out of nowhere. And then at the end, where he showed up with the helicarrier, it was like, whoa. That was one negative. That was like, where the heck did he get this helicarrier at? He was like, oh, he had it in storage. Well, S.H.I.E.L.D. is gone. It's just like, where did you get this thing? I mean, and where did you get the help to pilot, to fly this thing? That was kind of a weird loophole thing going on there. Another negative, I'll just touch on the negatives real quick. Tony Stark, Iron Man. In the last Iron Man, in Iron Man 3, he took out the metal in his chest. He was retiring, and all of a sudden, I thought maybe, they would have like a little bit, like they had to convince him to come in and help or something. But no, he's like right there. It's just like, whoa, doesn't he need that power supply to pilot the suit? I mean, they didn't really explain that very well. They spent all their character development on Hawkeye, a little bit on Black Widow, but not so much on Tony. They kind of just like, yeah, we're going to throw that out the window. Let's forget about that. I guess I was okay with that. I was like, okay, you're not going to explain that, whatever. But that was a little bit of a negative. It was kind of strange, But overall, I mean, there wasn't too many negatives in that. Oh, another negative. I just remembered when Scarlet Witch does the voodoo to their heads, and they see all these like stuff, like these visions or whatever, which was awesome. I love Cap's vision. I love seeing Haley Atwell in there. I like Haley Atwell a lot. And it was great seeing those type of visions with Cap and Peggy. That was great. The one with Thor, I was like, okay, that was cool and all. But then at the end, he's like, I need to go find, answers. And then he goes away. And then he goes finds the I forget the guy's name, the scientist guy that's been all in all the Thor films. He goes and finds him, and they go find this water, He goes on like this vision quest. I mean, I was like, okay, why? And what is he doing? Why is he doing that? It was kind of a weird moment. That was kind of a negative thing. I'm like, what is he doing? That didn't really make much sense. I don't know. There was only a few negatives in this film. Overall, I really enjoyed it, though, guys. The first one's still a little bit, I like a little bit more, but this one had a lot better action. Real quick, the Hulkbuster scene. The Hulkbuster scene with the Hulk and Iron Man in the Hulkbuster suit was awesome. I loved that scene. Them crashing through the buildings, bringing down that whole building, and everything that went on in that was awesome. I loved that scene. I wasn't expecting the Hulkbuster to withstand Hulk that well. And it did. I mean, it went toe to toe with Hulk. The one scene where he had Hulk down and he's using like the fist as like a jackhammer to just like pulverize the Hulk's face. He's like, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. I thought that was hilarious. I really did. Um, you know, there was a lot of fun moments. Most of the fun stuff was with Tony. I mean, it really was. Thor had a few funny one-liners here and there. That was cool, especially when he gives like the special alcohol to all the old service members at the party. One of them was Stan Lee, which that was cool. And he goes out drunk. That was cool. That was funny. So much cool stuff, guys. I really enjoyed it. Very well done. I wonder, that would be cool if they made like an extended cut of this film, because I know Joss Whedon had he wanted this vision of this film to be like 3 hours long, and they wouldn't let him do it. And I'd really like to see a longer cut of this film, or maybe they'll put the deleted scenes in the Blu-ray or whatever. I guess that's awesome. But I want to see the film more. I want to go back and I want to see it 10 more times. I really do. It was awesome. And all the money that this movie is making right now, it's well deserved. It's a great film. It's like one of the first summer movie blockbusters, and it shows all the action, everything that's went on in this film. Great story. And the characters I loved the most in this film was Scarlet Witch, the Vision. Ultron was cool. I liked the development of Natasha. That would be Black Widow. Her suit was awesome. Those stun sticks she had was cool. I think how they hid her pregnancy, which was Scarlett Johansson. She was pregnant during the making of this film. They hid that very well. I mean, you'd never know it. I think that was very well done. I think they could have done more, maybe developed Ultron's character a little bit more, backstory. They kind of just like went into that because they had to get this film rolling, But overall, I liked his character a lot. James Spader was great voicing that. I wish there wasn't with the Hulk. The Hulk was still cool and all. He didn't really have that awesome moment like he did in the first one where he was whipping Loki around. But overall, I think that the moment he had was when he was fighting the Hulkbuster. I think that was the awesome moment with him. And obviously Robert Downey Jr. is great as always as Iron Man. I think he had the funniest moments in this film. And I think they're setting up that butting heads with Captain America. They did that a few times in this. Especially when they're wanting to kill the Vision, and then Tony and the Hulk wanting to save him. And that little fight that went down there, that was like a prelude to Civil War. I mean, you've seen that. I thought that was an awesome scene as well. Them two all fighting like that. That was cool. And you've seen a little bit of Civil War there, and how Tony doesn't like all this stuff. I mean, he doesn't want anything to do with that. I can't wait to see more of that. I can't wait to see more of that. So much stuff. Aaron Taylor Johnson as Quicksilver, I thought he did a good job. But he's gone. He's dead. Or is he? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they'll bring him back. But I thought he did a good job. But I thought Scarlet Witch was the main twin there. I thought she was the awesome part of that duo. I think that's it, guys. I mean, I've went 18 minutes. Oh, I think I've touched on everything. I mean, so much cool stuff in this film. It was jam-packed. I think Joss Whedon did a fantastic job. I really do. I'm going to rate this film a 9. 9 out of 10 for me. I think the first one's just a hair better. I think the first one was a lot more fun. It had a better villain. But this one's right there with it. Very close. And I can't wait to see more of the new Avengers that they're making at the end. That they're having the new Avengers with Scarlet Witch. And I think that's Falcon. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I think that was Falcon, who was in The Winter Soldier. And War Machine as well. And I can't wait to see more of that. And that's also a prelude to Infinity Wars. Infinity War 1 and 2. We're going to have all these Avengers together. There was also a little hint at The Winter Soldier, too, where it was Falcon telling Cap about his missing persons problem, that they're still looking for the Winter Soldier. That was a great little hint there for that. I can't wait to see more of that. And Infinity Wars is going to be big, man. It's going to be big. I know we're going to have, the Guardians of the Galaxy in there and everything. I can't wait to see that. And the whole Infinity Stones thing. That that whole ending scene with the gauntlet. And Thanos is like, okay, I'll do it myself, or something that. I mean, it went by so fast. I was like, oh, that's it. I want to see more of Thanos, because Thanos looks like a badass dude. And it is the end game with the Infinity Gauntlet, and he's putting it on. The gems aren't in there yet, so I can't wait, guys. Awesome stuff, awesome film. 9 out of 10 for me. Please write in the comments below, guys, what you thought of the film. Anything I may have missed that you want to touch on, please write in the comments. Also, like and subscribe. I really appreciate that. But that will do it for me for this review of Avengers Age of Ultron. I am Chris for Christopher's Entertainment Blog. Thanks a lot, guys. Take it easy.